I know.
Hi, I'm Sarah Whitehead. I'm a certified clinical animal behaviourist with a passion for helping people to better understand their pets. So for me, what makes this profession so special is the fact that I get to be a kind of cross-communicator. I can look at an animal and say, I think this is what it's thinking and feeling. And then I can communicate that to the human being who is responsible for that animal's welfare, emotional, behavioural, physical. Today, we're diving into stress in cats, which is something very close to my heart. Unseen, unheard, unwell. Stress in cats is an epidemic hiding in plain sight, silently contributing to illness and emotional distress in our beloved companion. The good news is that there's so much we can do to help, and that starts with understanding what our cats need, how they communicate, and what they are trying to tell us. Well, if you've ever been over hungry and a little bit irritable as a result, then you might just understand. There are some brilliant tips you can use to manage this. One of those is little and often feeding. So lots of small portions throughout the day rather than perhaps too big a meals. Or you could even use a timed feeder so that it keeps the food and you separate. Use strategies either to slow the cat down, such as scatter feeding, so that the food is away from you and is distributed further, so your cat is going to take a little bit longer to eat it. You might need a diet change. High quality food that can be given in small amounts and in creative ways will help to reduce your cat's frustration. Things to avoid, particularly around any kind of scolding or ticking off. Delaying serving the food even longer or being slow is also your cat's worst nightmare if they're already starving hungry. First of all, it's really important to know it's completely normal for cats to hide. Allow the cat to move away and hide if she wants to. Make sure those hiding places are readily available. And if you can, make them vertical. Mistakes that people sometimes make are to be in pursuit of the cat. It's a cat's worst nightmare to be chased by someone or something that they're not really sure about. For example, if visitors are staying, you need to ensure that food and other resources are in a safe, calm, quiet place that your cat is really happy to go to. Your cat's safe area really needs to be safe. Don't intrude upon it. Emotional mistrust can have really serious behavioural implications. So it's critical that clinical issues are ruled out or tested for before we go down any behavioural route for this problem. If you think that your cat is peeing in the house because there's some kind of unresolved stress, then obviously it's really important that you address that. For example, fireworks or even a new baby in the household can create that kind of stress. Or there might be some issue with the toilet arrangements themselves. Is the cat in pain and doesn't want to get into the tray? Perhaps the cat has been ill and has now associated the tray with that discomfort. The type of litter is also really important, particularly if your cat appears to be avoiding it. Perhaps it's making his or her paws sore. Check that there aren't any obvious threats from outside or that there aren't other animals competing for your cat's food. If your cat is actively avoiding the litter tray, then it's important to take veterinary advice on what diet you're feeding. It's a big mistake to assume that your cat is being naughty. They're really not. They're incredibly clean creatures. Toilet arrangements need to be perfect in every way. Cats are really fussy. They might think you have the wrong size of tray, the tray might not be clean enough, they might not like the type of litter that you've chosen, or where the tray is positioned. If you have multiple cats, there might not be enough trays, and it might be that those trays are too close together. Some cats also like their tray to be covered, others like them to be uncovered. Some even like there to be sides and no top. The type of litter is also really important, particularly if your cat appears to be avoiding it. Perhaps it's making his or her paws sore. And where the tray is positioned is critically important too, as is having enough trays if you have more than one cat in your household. It sounds like an obvious thing to say, but nobody likes to eat in the toilet, so make sure that food is not near the litter tray. When you think about it, most cats only see the carrier when they're going to go to the vet. It's a big clue that tells them, run away. So one of the things that you can do to help is to have the carrier out at other times and associate it with nice things like its own bedding, some food and some playtime. You can train your cat to go into the carrier and then come out again on cue as a fun trick. Having a carrier that is too small, too difficult to get your cat in and out of, or is noisy or uncomfortable is also a bit of a disaster as far as your cat is concerned. You can use food to make great associations with the carrier when a vet visit is not on the card. And you can train using food so that your cat goes in and out of the carrier of their own volition. So a big mistake is only getting the carrier out when the vet visit is imminent, as is chasing your cat, trying to capture them and then pushing them into the cat carrier. So if I have one message, it's observe. Watch what's actually happening, not what you believe to be happening, but what's really happening. Watch the animal's body language and facial expression, and then be open and honest enough to say to yourself, what is this animal really trying to tell me? Because we're all caught up in our own minds about what we think we're seeing. Whereas actually, if we really look and really listen, the animal will very often give us a completely different answer. I think it is difficult to learn to read body language in another species. It's difficult enough between humans, to be honest. But I think we all come into the world with a propensity to be able to do it. We're mammals, we can read other mammals. We have that as a gut instinct. So one of the things I often tell people is don't override that gut instinct. If you have a feeling about how the animal is behaving, you're probably right.